Our habits are what defines us, and true change comes from being uncomfortable. Nothing changes if nothing changes, but if you want to change, start by changing your habits and everything else will follow. Hi everybody, I'm Chris Jordan, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I've been creating new amazing habits with this simple system in one day. So if you're struggling with bad habits and truly want to change, please watch this video all the way through. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is exactly how I'm building good habits quickly with this system. And literally, this is the only thing you need to build good habits. But first, you must understand that our habits are what defines us and our identity. A lot of people are going to say it's the thoughts and everything, and while that does factor in, I will not ignore that. Our habits are what defines us because these are the daily subconscious actions that we do every single day, right? And obviously, we can change our habits through meditation and things of that nature, but actions are way more effective, in my opinion. So, this is 100% fact information. And it doesn't matter how many positive thoughts you have, if you do not start changing your habits, you will be stuck in a self improvement imagination mumbo gumbo loop. Now I know that sentence was just it was just terribly written, but it is what it is. But I've been this person before, and I was stuck in this phase for 2 or 3 years, where I read Joseph Murphy, Power of the Subconscious Mind. I read Neville Goddard, and it was basically saying, you know what? Just imagine uh, you being the person you want to be. Now, while that does help, I noticed that it never really progressed my life forward in a sense. Yeah, there would be some things I manifested and everything, but it never really gave me concrete evidence of me being where I was to where I wanted to be. So instead of just relying on self improvement, imagination, mumbo gumbo loop, I literally just decided to change my habits. I just decided to change my identity, change everything I disliked, right? And this is all you need. You need trigger, action, a reward, and a feedback loop. And the feedback loop part is just the loop that feeds back into the trigger. That's all it is. So, this is how I changed my terrible diet. And when I say terrible, I mean literally terrible. I used to literally eat fast food damn near every day. I could get away with this because of my fast metabolism, and I was constantly hooping, so I got a lot of cardio in. If you don't know, and you haven't followed me from my last YouTube channel, which I had like over 1,000 subs or whatever, I have a basketball training business where I train anybody from middle school to college players, right? So I'm either training or running up and down the court hooping. I'm constantly in the gym. But I would be constantly in a tired, groggy state. I knew I wanted to change this, so I got mad with myself purposely. And the important part is to get mad with yourself purposely. Because if you truly want to change, you will change. You have a lot of people, especially like during the new year or whatever, where they'll be like, I'm going to lose this much weight this year. And then a month in, they're already done. It's because they was already comfortable in the stage they're in. You have to truly get mad with yourself and truly make yourself uncomfortable. So I purposely got mad with myself. I literally sat down and just got mad with myself. Like drummed up mad, angry emotions until I was ready to change. Now, currently, this was my habit sequence: trigger, get hungry, look at the clock and see if it's 2 p.m. because I do intermittent fasting, action, order fast food, reward, get fast food. But on the other end, I felt like trash constantly and got tired of it. So, what I did was buy some healthy foods: fruits, vegetables, lean beef, rice, etc. I needed to change my environment so that would make me second guess buying fast food in the first place. And in a future video, I'm going to talk about why you should change your environment, because your environment actually influences your habits a lot. Um, Many people can probably relate to this uh, right now, how they want to eat healthy, but their parents have fast food, or their parents don't have good food. There's a bunch of processed food, processed stuff everywhere. So people could probably relate to this right now. So you need to change your environment. But I'll get to that in another video. So, in this case, the exact equation I wrote down before taking this action were these two things. I had one for if I had the groceries I needed, and one for if I didn't have it that day. Trigger, get hungry, look at the clock and see it's 2 p.m. Action, make food at home. Reward, eat food and feel better. And then if I needed to make groceries, same thing, same trigger. Action, drink water because most of the time you're not really hungry. If you feel hungry, you're most likely thirsty. Reward, order healthy food and feel better. So as you can see, I literally had the same trigger. I just changed the reward slightly. I changed the action. The main thing was the action, right? And when it comes to the reward, you have to make sure it's rewarding and make sure to write down how you're going to feel included in the reward. Because if you constantly read how you're going to feel, your feelings and your emotions will move you faster than logical thought. On top of that, your brain will start to identify with this habit and start to understand, okay, when I eat healthy, I feel better. When I make food at home and eat, I feel better. Even if I order food, if I order healthy food, I'm going to feel better. Your brain is going to identify with that, right? The same way I identified with eating fast food, but I felt trash. But since it was fast food and it tasted good, I kept doing the habit. So I haven't ate fast food in the last 3 weeks with this one change. And literally, I started this sequence one day after learning this, right? Or I started the habit one day after learning. Not even one day. It was literally the same day. I ordered the groceries that day, everything I needed, and I started changing right then and there. So like I said, I haven't ate fast food in the last 3 weeks with this one change. I don't even have a desire to eat it because I feel way better. And I've been around like my parents and friends or whatever who want to order fast food. In fact, um, yesterday, after being at the gym hooping, my friends asked me, they was like, "Are you coming to Razoo's with us?" Because we know the GM of all the Razoo's, or most of the Razoo's in the Dallas area, right? So we basically get free food. And I kind of turned them down. I was like, I don't want to eat any fast food like that, or not fast food, because that's not really considered fast food. But I don't want to eat any food like that because I know how I'm going to feel, all the grease and everything. And so I don't even have the desire to eat it. So this is literally all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need any complicated thing. Anybody telling you it's more complicated than this, they're lying to you. Solution: create a trigger, action, reward, feedback loop equation for your habit. Then try to implement right away. If it helps, you can visualize repeating that habit over and over again to drum it into your brain. Now, I did talk about how imagination didn't work for me, but I do understand that your brain can't tell the difference between reality and what's imagined. And on top of that, I've used imagination since I was a little kid, even in high school, to get better at shooting free throws. There's actually a free throw experiment on that. So visualize repeating the habit over and over and over again so you could drum it into your brain and convince your brain that this is who you are. This is the new you. There's no exception, no way to beat around the bush. The solution. If you need some more examples here are some I used when I first started this. Now, mind you, it's been 3 weeks. I'm making this video on like the beginning of the fourth week. I wrote all these down in Apple Notes to remember and read them constantly. These aren't examples. These are things I actually do. Now, I know I said I just contradict myself, but these are things I actually do, right? And I highly recommend writing them down in Apple Notes or writing them down somewhere where you can read them, because if you read it and you see it and you write it, you're more likely to perform it versus just trying to memorize it. People overrate how good their memory is. Because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'll just I'll just remember the trigger, action, reward for my new habit." You're not going to remember it. Trust me. You're not. So here's some things I actually do. Lay down and read at 10 p.m. Trigger. Action, sleep earlier. Reward, feel better, look better. Open charts. Because if you don't know, I trade. Open charts. Trigger. Action. Day trade or study backtest trade. Reward, become a better trader. Trigger, finish all tasks. So this is basically when I'm finishing all my priority tasks, things I need to do for the day. Action, imagine seeing. Law of belief. Reward, manifest my reality. I still do imagine my ideal future. Just because I said it earlier doesn't mean I don't do it. But I also, since I've implemented the habits and this solution, this habit equation into my life, I actually feel like I'm moving toward it versus just kind of waiting for it to happen to me. Right? Then trigger, look at stock market, action, invest 200 a week in stocks, reward, make money passively over time from investments. I promise you it's not hard to change your habits. If it's hard, it's because you are comfortable with who you are. True change comes when someone wants to change. You have to stop being comfortable with who you are. If you're comfortable with who you are, you're never going to change. You only grow from being uncomfortable. So, if you're comfortable with what you are, but you do want to change, like I said, figure out a way to drum up the emotions on the habit or the action you want to change. Drum up the anger, the disappointment, the resentment towards yourself. Drum it up and then truly use those emotions to start changing your habits and developing a good one or an amazing one. So that's it, guys. Also, if you're interested in improving yourself as a person to become the best version of yourself, feel free to join my free community in the comments or description down below. I just created this, so I'm going to try to grow it to probably like 50 to 100 members. Then I'll probably shut it down because I don't want too many people in there. But if people join like crazy, then I'll let you guys in. It doesn't really matter at that point because we're all helping each other anyway. And I will have free courses in certain mindset areas like habit transformation, things of that nature in there as well. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I would love to see some feedback on this type of video and comment down below because I was going to do this video showing my face, but this helps me stay more organized and get to the point faster while giving more value versus me just ranting over and over again. But that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Peace.